The topic in this video is a real eye-opener. You might have seen headlines about the recent job boom in the US companies scrambling to fill positions, unemployment rates at record lows. It sounds like fantastic news, right? Well, buckle up, because as with most things in life, the reality is a bit more complex. The truth is, this boom wasn't quite so booming for everyone, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack. We're going to explore the data, the reasons behind it, and most importantly, what we can do to create a more equitable job market for all. So, if you're interested in social justice, economic fairness, and making the dream job a reality for everyone, then watch until the end. Let's jump in. The disparity. The unemployment rates for Black and white workers over the past year have shown interesting trends. Despite an overall drop in the unemployment rate, the specific data for Black male workers has taken an unexpected turn. This divergence in trends has sparked discussions about the underlying factors contributing to these disparities, highlighting the need for targeted interventions to address the unique challenges faced by different demographic groups in the workforce. The rate for Black male unemployment surged from 4.6% to 5.3%, displaying a concerning increase. This shift contradicts the prevailing narrative of a universal job boom scenario. A historical context. This isn't merely a recent anomaly. The disparity in unemployment rates between Black and white individuals has been a persistent concern. Dating back to 1972, when the US government began tracking this data, the Black unemployment rate has consistently stood at double that of white workers. Despite economic fluctuations over the years, the enduring 2:1 ratio, highlighting the income disparities between Black Americans and their counterparts, continues to resurface. This trend underscores the persistent challenges faced by Black Americans in the workforce, shedding light on the systemic inequalities that have deep-rooted impacts on economic opportunities and advancement. Unpacking the reasons. So what exactly is happening here? Why does this persistent gap continue to exist? Well, delving into this issue reveals a multifaceted complexity with no simple solutions. The presence of systemic racism stands out as a major factor in perpetuating this stark disparity. Apart from that, the prevalence of hiring biases deeply rooted in prejudice, the lack of access to quality education and training opportunities, and even the geographical discrepancies in job availability all intersect to form substantial barriers for Black workers. These challenges hinder their advancements and contribute to the perpetuation of the cycle of inequality. A deeper look at systemic racism. Let's delve a little deeper into this crucial concept of systemic racism. Systemic racism goes beyond explicit acts of discrimination. It encompasses the deeply ingrained policies and practices that have systematically erected obstacles for Black communities. Examples of this systemic issue include historical practices like redlining in housing, which not only restricted access to quality schools and neighborhoods, but also perpetuated cycles of disadvantage. The resultant lack of resources, such as insufficient funding for schools and inadequate access to educational materials, translates into limited opportunities for receiving a high-quality education and comprehensive training. This, in turn, adversely impacts job prospects by hindering skill development and perpetuates economic disparities, widening the gap between socioeconomic classes. Beyond the numbers. It's crucial to remember that these statistics represent real individuals, each with a unique story and set of circumstances. Within these numbers are Black men and women earnestly looking for employment, encountering obstacles at every juncture. It is evident that the data reflects a profound and persistent struggle that many Black Americans face in the workforce. The challenges they encounter are deeply rooted in systemic inequalities and historical injustices, highlighting the need for meaningful change and opportunities for a more equitable future. Call to action. So, what steps can we take to address this pressing issue? It's crucial that we no longer turn a blind eye to the problem at hand. Here are a few impactful actions that we can all reflect on and consider. Number 1. It is crucial for us to dedicate time to educate ourselves comprehensively about the deep-rooted impacts of systemic racism in the job market, recognizing the barriers it creates for marginalized groups seeking equal opportunities. Number 2. We should actively voice our support for the implementation of inclusive policies that not only acknowledge but actively champion diversity, equity, and inclusion in every aspect of recruitment and employment practices across organizations, fostering a more equitable society. Number 3. demonstrating solidarity involves not only verbal affirmations, but tangible actions, such as actively backing and amplifying businesses owned by Black individuals and communities, thereby contributing to a more unified and inclusive economic landscape. And finally, as to solidarity, it is imperative to extend tangible support by engaging in mentorship programs and creating tailored pathways for skills development specifically designed to empower and uplift underrepresented groups, ultimately nurturing a workforce that is truly diverse and equitable. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Your insights are valued. Let's continue this conversation in the comments section below. Share your thoughts on the data presented. Additionally, feel free to explore potential steps that can be implemented to foster a more equitable job market for all. Your input is greatly appreciated. See you in our next video.